Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
See you next Tuesday?
Yeah. Thursday, but if it's still wet from Wednesday rain, they'd have to hold up. Should I do 2 weeks from tomorrow, this Thursday, or hold for next Thursday and see if it doesn't rain? Let's see. We can start.
Hold on. I gotta change my microphones. Okay. Welcome.
Welcome. You know, I still don't know the actual tune. Welcome.
You're on a podcast called See You Next Tuesday. If this is your first time listening to this show,
You're lost.
don't. Go to the episode that came out yesterday or the episode that came out last Thursday. Don't listen to Friday or Tuesday.
Nope, it'll just be a little too confusing for you. This is the first time we haven't actually filmed a See You Next Tuesday or recorded a See You Next Tuesday on a Tuesday in a while.
I literally forgot.
It's Monday.
Yep.
Well, granted, it's fine that you forgot because our headphones are on and we're recording. I forgot that we were recording today until you texted me, thankfully, where you were like, hey, just in case you forgot.
It was on the calendar.
No, it was very polite. And I put it also on my calendar. And it didn't show up on my phone calendar, but it was on my computer calendar. So I was like, wow, thank you.
I figured I'd needed to.
It's just because one of the greatest things about being able to like create my own work schedule, I will say there are pitfalls, but without a doubt, it's much fucking better. And I'm not going to deny the privilege that I have in that, especially for ADHD, where it's like I have to chase. I'm like a tornado chaser, but with dopamine. Like I have to chase the goddamn fucking dopamine. So having a buffer day from the weekend to like mentally shift, like I'll do work on Monday. I have to write down to promote the podcast episode that came out today. My to-do list has said Monday on it for about 2 weeks. Like I break it up day by day and I change like, okay, but I don't write, I have to do this Monday, I have to do this Tuesday because that's a little too much. Like there's a lot of chaos to my to-do list, but I just kept not changing the day. Like I've been so behind on things. I finally changed it to Sunday yesterday at like 11:35 p.m.
See, I do mine with all the days and then move them. Like if I don't finish something, I just move it. But
yeah, I do it without the labeling because
I can lock
too much
review,
pressure.
Don't blame me off.
Oh, nice.
But there's still a bunch of stuff from last week that I did not get to. So I have to move it.
As is my life. I relate. Melissa's going to Vegas.
Yeah, but not like to gamble or anything. I'm going to the podcast awards.
Are you going to play like one slot?
Probably not.
I did one once on my 21st birthday and I won 23 cents and I was like, I'm set.
Yeah.
And then I walked away.
Good job.
I don't have that gambling gene.
I do. One summer My aunt is a big gambler.
Did you go to Atlantic City?
No, there's casinos in Arkansas. And so one summer I stayed with my aunt. It was when I was in college, and she goes to casinos all the time.
Yeah.
And there's one that is like an hour away from her house. And so every Wednesday she would give me $20 and we would go down to the casino. And I was staying with her in Little Rock, but I lived in Fayetteville. But that summer I paid all my rent by going to the casino with her with $20.
How old were you?
21.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, it's not like you would have been younger than
Yeah.
that. Wow. I think if I'm not
And my sister's part too.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
High roller. Were you good? What'd you play?
Just the slots.
Isn't that impressive? Because that
It
one's just
is.
luck, right? Most of them are luck and bamboozling.
Yeah, but like there's a rhythm you can get into with them too.
Wow.
But she knows. She like, hey, that one's hot. Go.
I was about to say, like, it's like those episodes of Friends where like those like people would stay there and Phoebe was like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think my grandma was into casinos, but I don't know if it, like, I remember going to casinos with her when I was a child, but I don't, it's so classic. I don't remember if it was, she was into the gambling portion or just the smoking inside portion.
That's with my aunt. It was both.
Yeah, so it could have been both.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I just distinctly remember the smoking indoors and that there was only certain sections that I could be in. And it was Fox. Where's one in Connecticut? Is it Foxville? It's like a very famous one. Foxville? I think it's Foxwoods. Yep. Casino.
Foxwood Casino Hotels.
Yep.
And then there's the Fox Tower at Foxwoods.
So I remember going to that. And I just remember the smell distinctly.
The smell is very distinct.
And like I just remember coming home from the summer and like all of my clothes would just smell. And like my hair, it would be like I would get in the pool every day just in hopes I'm like, maybe the chlorine will cut through some of this. It's like sludge, like all over your body.
Yeah.
Ugh, nasty. Well, have fun in Vegas.
Thanks.
I'm excited for
Be
you.
real quick though. Going
Yeah.
tomorrow morning, and then the awards we have to be down the red carpet like 3:45 to take the shuttle
That
or
stresses
whatever.
me out.
And then, I mean, the awards start at 4:30, I think, and then my flight's the next day at 10.
Where are
I
you
think.
staying? This comes out after, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Megan. You don't know where. You can't know off the top of your head?
No, I don't know off the top of my head.
There's only like 5 hotels.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
Which one?
I
Is it on the strip?
don't know. I
Okay,
didn't
I'll tell
book
you.
it. Kendall booked it.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're fine.
No, we're staying at the Cosmopolitan.
There you go. I love the Cosmopolitan. Are you going to do a buffet?
Absolutely not.
Here's the thing I have to say. Aside from like getting long COVID and people, one of the things I will miss more than anything in the entire world that I can never look at the same in a post-COVID world, a buffet.
The only thing that I would go to a buffet is one where the restaurant staff are giving you the food, like they stand behind the counter and then dish it out. But any other one, and then there's a glass thing, of course, separating, but any other one, absolutely not.
The Cosmopolitan buffet is almost already like that pre-COVID, so I would think that they already did that. I fucking love Vegas. Vegas is like one of my favorite places, and I love a buffet more than anything in the entire world. And I have to say, if you're able to do the Cosmopolitan one, they pretty much do, like, they have a carving station, like a lot of the stuff they're doing for you, and then they hand you a plate, and there was a big glass thing, and this is way pre-COVID. So I bet they would.
I don't know if I'll have time though.
That is true. That is true. Oh, God. I love it. Mats and I have been talking about wanting to go to a concert in Vegas, like really bad. I've never done that.
I want to go to see Usher.
Usher?
Usher.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have so much fun.
Thank you.
That's why we're recording on a Monday, even though nobody would know.
Yeah.
Because it's see you next Tuesday.
What do you have up?
When it's up.
It's stuck.
It's up. What am I up to? Well, I did things this weekend. I was actually somewhat productive. I was telling Melissa before we started recording, we built dining room chairs that we got last weekend. They're really cute. They match really well. It looks so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we changed out our shower head. And I've also been working on doing like more little mood boards for the house.
Mm-hmm.
We got another medicine cabinet.
Does it fit?
Nope. And then I cried and I had a full-on mental breakdown and wanted to be like, it's okay. And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Why don't you, next time you go to Lowe's, you get one of those things that's like a digital measure. And
we have one. I just haven't, it died. It's the perils, like the same thing I have with like that little timer cap on my pills that tell me if I've taken my meds. Everyone's like, you should get one of these. I'm like, I have one. It just died and I haven't changed the batteries out in it. So
put it on your to-do list to change.
I will. But so right now though, I've just lost measuring. I've revoked measuring privileges, and I told Mats, I was like, I need you to measure, and then I need you to write it down, because my issue is I'm like mixing up the numbers, or I'm not like reading the number right to begin with.
Are you measuring it directly on the thing?
I'm measuring everything.
No, I'm asking, like, have you tried like sticking a piece of paper up and then putting the endpoints and just measuring that?
I just can't like if it's not, I don't like the little lines. Like if there are little lines, like I can't do it. And so like I was just getting roughly close enough, and then it was so bad. And it was like I was just measuring it and I was like, well, it should fit. This is like a little under 14 inches, and then that's a little under 14 inches. And I'm like going back and forth, and Mats looks and he goes, no, that's a little over 14 inches. That's a little under 14 inches. And I was like, oh, my bad. So he's measured. He measured the hole. He measured the current medicine cabinet. He's like wrote all of those things down. And then I'm going to send him links of ones that I'm like, does this fit? That to me, it feels like it is around that number. And then he will be able to tell me. But he was like, it's such a no. It's like really not a big deal. And I was just like, ugh. Like I was just so upset at myself. Also because it was back ordered. It took months to get. It's like the second one we fucking ordered. And I'm like so goddamn fucking annoyed. And I like wanted to be productive. And then I had a meltdown and then it was fine. And then we watched Scandal, an episode where, spoiler alert, James Novak dies. So I'm inconsolable. And then I was like, let's just lean in and watch Wakanda Forever. So like when I tell you that my eyes are like puffy today and have been all weekend because I just leaned into the crying. I think it started though all with like me watching like one TikTok that made me like tear up. No, you know what it is? It's that fucking Lightning McQueen trend on TikTok.
I don't understand it.
It's just like, I'm rooting for you.
I know.
And it doesn't matter what it's about, but like, I've never even seen the Cars movie, but I love the Cars ride at Disneyland. I know I would love Cars. There's just something so wholesome about it that I'm going to cry no matter what the fucking content is.
Okay.
So that's been my weekend.
What did you think of Wakanda Forever?
I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm a little bit curious if they, not that if they change DPs, but if like
they did.
Okay, because this movie, obviously there's a lot of women starring in this movie, but this movie was shot and lit for women, maybe not by women, but like
it was.
I was gonna say like
for and by.
It is like there's just something that you can tell where I'm like, oh no, we're getting fucking we're getting glowing. Like when everyone looked so pretty, like they just looked. Oh, the looks. Like every single time Lupita came on screen, I was like, what the?
When she came on the screen, I was like, first of all, that ass.
Melissa, I was like, Lupita, girl, like. Not that I think it's been hiding, but like,
no, but like,
we haven't worn
it there.
We have not worn like a tight bodycon dress in like.
I was just like, whoa, and I feel like everybody in the theater also said the same thing.
I gasped. First of all, the hair on her, what I don't know if it's the makeup, I don't know if it's the looks, like I don't know. And I was like, this is just the light. Like everything about this is goddess. Like everyone is looking like a god. Like they just look gorgeous.
Yeah. And I you know, it's scary getting into Marvel like Reddit subreddits because you don't know.
Oh, I don't
what
even
the
venture there
fanboys
yet.
are gonna be. But I was like, I'm just gonna get in. I just want to see what people are saying. And the fanboys were loving it, but mostly they were talking about Lupita.
I was about to say, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like, there's that one fucking scene where it's just like, she walks into scene and it's a profile of her. And it's just like,
she just turns.
This is just how you were born?
Yeah.
Like, that's just like, this is just your body. Like, oh my God. I wonder if there's going to be an uptick in BBLs of people just bringing in that screenshot of being like this is what I want. They're like,
no,
sorry,
you can't.
That's not man-made. Oh my God. She was just so beautiful. And like the scenes when, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone, but like everyone should go see it. Months. I know, but I did just see it. So like I can't get on here and be like, if you haven't seen it, like whatever, like everyone knows it's going to be like very emotional. And so that makes it harder for me to like, okay, now I have to like be in the right mindset to watch it. But the scenes when they're in the forest and they're wearing like white, I was like, holy fuck. That was the moment I go, someone on this crew changed and this is a woman. Like
it was a woman
here.
the first time
but
too.
Like,
but it was more because it was more since even though both movie itself are there's a lot of women in it.
Yeah.
But the first one is more about, it is about
a
man. Yeah.
No, so like this, I was like, there was a distinct shift in like how it's shot, which is important.
I
like,
talked about it when I was a guest on Black Men Can't Jump. But
it's just fucking beautiful. Like, and I love all of it.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Maybe I did know this, but I just like, I think I knew, but it just had been so long since I like watched a trailer or anything, that there's a lot of underwater in this movie. And I can't breathe when I watch things that are underwater. Like, I have a really, really hard time. So I had to take my glasses off almost as soon as like the bubbles stop coming out of mouth. Like, as soon as it's like, okay, we're not seeing as much anymore. I could handle it a bit, but like, good fucking God.
Did you see them training for it? Like, they're underwater.
They are. And I'm not going to knock the movie at all. There are some times that some people are a little too good at being underwater, so they don't look like they're underwater. And then there are people who look like they're underwater. You know what I mean? Like,
but the people that look like they're underwater, it's because they're supposed to look like that, though.
No, but like, it's in the equivalent of, like, some people are, it's like behaving like they're just on land. Like, it's like very very, very, very natural. And then there's like, it's just like the slight differences of being like, oh, this is not a total spoiler, but I'm not going to explain any of it, but if you don't want to be spoiled, like skip the next, like, I don't know, 30 seconds. If he's not blue, and the difference of why he's not blue is because of like being yeah. Mm-hmm. And then there are like a lot of the other people are blue, mm-hmm. but then there are people who are not blue. How did they repopulate? I looked it up and I couldn't find much, but I didn't dive into the Reddits. But now
I don't remember. I have to go. But I was so emotional watching.
Well, I don't think they talked about it, but I don't know if like it was just like in my head.
I think some people were already there.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, because like that's the part that I was.
And he's like a mix of since he was from a person on land, and then went to the water and was born because somebody did come out. Didn't somebody come out at the beginning that wasn't initially part of, and that's how they were saved? Like the people that did get saved. I have to go back and watch it.
No, now me too. I was very emotional.
I think it was somebody that there was somebody already living in the water that came and saved them, the few that got saved. And then he was the first to be born in like from the land people in the water. And then that's why he.
But were the people in the water blue already?
I think so.
But so then there's a good chunk of people who are not blue who are in the water
and I think the chunk of the people that aren't blue are some of the ones that were on land too. He just happened to be one that was the first one born half and half. Like he was the first one because his mom was pregnant when she went into the water. But
everybody turned blue.
I don't remember.
And it was like only I was just
he did go save some other people though. Remember when he was a little boy and then he goes and saves some, so maybe some of those people.
I know, I was wondering if they were turning people and like if he had an ability to like turn people in a way that was like him, not in the way that those people had turned and then had thus repopulated and everyone's got the guilt, like, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But because
I gotta rewatch.
Yeah.
But it's a lot to rewatch. No,
I was just looking, I should have cut this part out, but I remember looking around and being like, okay, I know you're like hella old, but like I'm seeing like a lot of people who are blue and then a lot of people who aren't. And you led this whole thing of like why you're not like this. So I'm just like, where did you find another person? And then I was wondering if there's gonna be a like with the, you know, repopulation storyline of this, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Neymar was so sexy.
Is that
him?
That's his character's name? Yeah.
Or no more. He says it no more, but like it's traditionally pronounced Neymar, but I think that they changed it because they did have more dialect so that it's Mayan. Yeah. And so no more, but like previously in the comics it's been Neymar.
Okay. You know, I'm happy that is that your pick? That's if you're gonna in the second one. No. Who's your pick?
It's of course gonna be Michael B when he comes out in his long locks and white
and all white. Dude. I was like, bitch, what's his name? Ariana, what are you doing here?
I was just like,
thank you. And like
hair grows.
Like, okay, sick. And just like
that was a choice. It's not like his hair is that long.
No. I was just like, okay, respect. But also just like I just love him. Like, look at you, cocky little asshole.
I know.
Like,
I audibly gasped when I saw him.
Sexy. But I have to say
M'Baku.
I know. You last night I was trying to tell Moms. I was like, wow, he like so funny. And he was like, who? And I was like, because I was trying to figure out like his height. And
who cares about his height? The circumference of his thighs?
Winston Duke. But I could not remember his the only name that was coming to my mind was Winston Bishop. And I was like,
I mean, they actually go big. Duke and Bishop both are.
Yes. When I finally realized that, I was like, Oh my gosh. What came first in the, like, do you think Winston Duke was like, Winston Bishop? Like, or is this are you making fun of me? Is this a parody? But he was
a child.
I know.
When he came out.
He was so good in it. He's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, he doesn't have the thickest neck. Like, he has
but I feel like the rest of his body.
That's what I'm going to say. He has a proportionate neck to the tree trunk of a man that he is. And that is the only, what most would categorize as a thick neck man that I trust.
But the thighs, though.
That's what I mean. Like, that's proportionate. Those ankles, too. Like, he's a sturdy. Like, he's not getting knocked over in a blustery storm. Like, he's fucking, a tornado comes, a tornado blew around a house, he's standing right there.
Right.
Not moving.
You know how there was like a trend of dudes breaking watermelons on?
Oh.
Which, impressive, but really not that much. But when you think about how easily you can break a watermelon, you can punch through a watermelon if you wanted to. Well, but I could see him cracking a walnut with his legs.
Without a doubt. Also, women have much stronger thighs than men usually. I was going to say, so like that, when I was seeing like men and struggling, I'm like, okay, this is, if I'm doing like a thigh muscle fight between mods, I'm winning every time. Like, it's just it's just not going to be like that. It was, most of the time I was seeing it was like the really like greasy white men with like the curly cute little mustaches doing them. And I was like, I'm not into that. But the idea of Winston did like, and he was just so funny in it. And like the movie itself was just so good. I think the script was really good. Like, I think the story was really good.
Especially since they had to rewrite the whole script.
Yeah. And I'm like glad that they did, and they did it in a way that like my biggest takeaway when I watched it was that like Chadwick Boseman's family probably loved it. Like that was like, it was so, it honored him in like such a beautiful way that didn't feel like taking advantage of it or like, or giving an audience more, like it felt like it was the right amount of grieving for people who didn't know him personally, that it's not like uncomfortable territory where it's just like now you feel even more invested in someone you don't personally know's passing. And it felt like respectful
because they were actual friends too.
Yeah. And like even for like, I felt like it was probably the best version for like the crew and the actors to make. So like you have the moments in which like you're gonna grieve on camera and you're allowed to do that, but like we're not monopolizing on it. We're not like staying on that for so long. In the same way for the crew, like we're doing a lot of technical stuff that like is a great distraction, but like we're honoring in the way, and we're not, anytime that there's an honoring moment of that, like you're allowed to be as emotional as you feel. Like it's not more or less, which I thought was good.
Some people were talking about how they should have recast him. And I was like, no, because if you recast him, then you don't give the people on screen time to grieve him. And that's a lot for people to take on emotionally.
Yeah. Like,
and I was like, this is the respectful way to how to go about it, is to honor him, honor the man, and then still have his legacy.
Yeah. Because like you even think of like any other job, your coworker passes away, you know, employees are going to have time to grieve, or like in a replacing of that. And it's like, okay, now go on, like everything's totally normal. Like there isn't that. Like you have to perform, and you're performing like through all of that's rough. And I'm really glad they didn't recast. And it was just, I started crying as soon as it started, but when they did the Marvel, oh my,
and it just went
on
silent.
And I imagine it was actually not silent in our home because I was like,
well, I mean, you could hear, when I was in theaters, you could hear, but I mean that they didn't play anything.
Oh yeah. It was just, I was like, that was so beautiful. And again, like I'm sure that the family like really trusted everyone, but like there's still going to be a little bit of like okay, I can trust, and I really hope that it is respectful. Like I hope it like encourages other people to like be respectful and not try and ask for more, or you know, push those kind of boundaries and privacy things. And the whole time I was just like, oh wow, I feel like this was great for them, and it was just like so fucking good. I loved it, and I want to watch it again.
Angela Bassett is doing the thing.
No, when I tell you, as soon as I watch, I go, Kiki's gonna have a goddamn field day. Like there's a couple of those lines where I'm like, Angela, did you do this for Kiki to be able to quote? Like it was just like
just Angela Bassett.
She was in her Angela Bassett prime. Like Angela Bassett was Angela Bassetting, and like it was like Kiki Palmer is about to be like, thank you for this gift. And even some of the lines were just so like, I was a little bit curious. I'm like, Angela, did you ask to rewrite this? Like, because you're like, it's just so spot on. And it was just so good.
But Ryan Coogler is a genius. Like,
I love. And like,
so good.
Mats was asking me, he was like, is Black Panther your favorite Marvel movie? Like, or do you think it's the best of the Marvel movies? And I was like, I like can't put it in the same category because like it's so different. Like it's just so different. Like they're not campy. They're not like over the top kind of like sarcastic. I'm like, I love like Thor Ragnarok, but like you put that and Black Panther next to each other and you tell me that that's like the same kind of movie. Like it's not. So like it can't even be in that category for me. I'm like, I think it's like some of like the best movies ever made. Like,
I mean, it gets nominated for like award awards,
and I'm like, I like love Ant-Man, but like Ant-Man is like same.
It's a popcorn movie, but like
it's a classic Marvel movie. Like it's a quintessential Marvel movie, and like these are not.
Yeah, they're cinematic,
truly, and like they're just so fucking good, and I loved it. I really loved it, and now I'm excited to watch the Marvels when that comes out. But we're gonna watch she's a child, Miss Marvel first, so we have all of the background.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either.
I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous for Brie Larson.
Why?
Because girl cannot catch a goddamn fucking break from the Marvel fans, and her co-stars are too busy defending Chris Pratt against people calling him the worst Chris. So, but I'm excited because I like the rest of the characters like on it, and I like her character too. I just like I think it'll be good, even though I do low-key feel like they're setting them up to fail because you have to watch 2 different Disney Plus series to understand these characters.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
I do like in Wakanda Forever also them setting up
Ironheart.
Well, Ironheart, cool, but so historically, but I know they're not. I don't think they're gonna do it, but her character is usually with like her and
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury are like in a relationship, and I don't think they're gonna do it. Like in the comics, they're in a relationship.
Sexy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Virgo, keep the eye patch on. She's funny.
Yeah, she's funny. But this is 2 movies in a row that I've now seen her playing a racist, and I'm like, you do this a little too well.
What was the other one?
The one You People that just came out, which
I
mean, she's like everybody in that movie is racist and anti-Semitic, but like
I mean, Selena Mai wasn't not racist.
And it was just like a lot. And I adore her.
Yeah, and she's a very good actress. Yes. And you're like,
but they're setting up Thunderbolts, which I'm excited about too. And so that's
who's Thunderbolt?
Well, that's the team that it's kind of like. Well, you don't watch the DC, but Viola Davis's character in the
yes,
yeah. So
did you watch that?
Yeah, And so her character, it's like the equivalent to her character where they like have the team of bad guys that they essentially recruit to take people down.
The Daredevil-y thing, right?
No, it's like, because Daredevil is more like anti-hero. These are people that were actually villains that they're like, we can rehab them to be good people.
Okay.
And
So like a cooler Guardians of the Galaxy. Because that's like, they're like, we're stealing from the rich.
But these are like the actual villains that have been like committed.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
And so it's the equivalent of Viola Davis' like character, like I said, which is the Suicide Squad, but the Thunderbolts are like the Suicide Squad.
Okay.
In the MCU.
Nice.
And so that's why she's there, is because they're setting that up, and I'm excited about that.
Oh, I'll have to watch. When does that come out?
Not for
years
for
and
a
years
while.
and years and years.
I don't know when Thunderbolts in the MCU.
So I have to say I was like spot on when I was looking at the new actress, Dominique Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I haven't seen her before. And I go on her IMDb and she's got like 4 projects. All of them I've heard of. And I'm like, hold up. You just came out and just started doing all of these.
She was in a few movies before.
No, but they're all movies I've heard of. Like they're all like popular, successful, like well-renowned movie. And like there is no short film. There is none of these things that I'm like, oh, these like build up sort of things. And I was like, and I looked at how old she was and I go, oh, she's young. And I was like, okay, so she definitely went to like one of those art schools in New York and then got swooped up, went to an Ivy, like big acting program, and then immediately got cast. I go on her Wikipedia. I just read it. I knew it out of my head. And I was like, oh, amazing. Like this was like so spot on. And then I looked it up.
Because even her first thing that she ever did, she was the star.
That's what I mean. I was just like, and it was like it was
If Beale Street Could Talk, which is a huge movie.
Literally. I'm just like, what? Like this isn't like one of those NYU kids who immediately, the only thing they ever booked is Riverdale and like they're famous. Like there's like, it's that, but like I'm like, okay, there's a difference between NYU and an Ivy League. I'm like, your first movie, if Beale Street Could Talk, okay, Ivy League. And turns out she went to school and she went to Cornell and she got like a presidential scholarship, which I then started looking into. And I was like, fucking hell, the amount of like work and the amount of people who apply, like you can't just apply, like someone has to nominate you based on like meeting certain criteria, and then you have to like maintain all this criteria. You have to like go on these like fucking weekend things to like continually prove all of this shit and be like, look how exemplary I am.
She's Riri. For real.
But then on top of that, you have to then maintain your grades, your scores, all of those things that got you to even be like the prerequisites to even apply to begin with. And then you have to do all this other stuff. And I was like, the amount of fucking hoops you have to jump through to get a fucking scholarship for college?
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
wild.
am a little sad that her and Tony Stark will never interact, because he's kind of the one that like put her on. Like in the comics, he's the one that like is her mentor essentially. And so I'm a little sad. But she is in the MCU, she's the smartest. Actually, she's not anymore, but she was the smartest character for a long time. But then there's a new character that's also a little black girl that's now the smartest character in the MCU.
Passing on the torch.
Yeah.
Her live into Black Excellence, am I right? And then she was like, okay. Like she was so, her line delivery was just like,
are y'all
so
coming to recruit
funny.
me?
And she was like, oh, sick. It was just so fun. Like she was just like, she just crushed it. And she was so good. I wonder if they'll have her do any sort of interactions with do Spider-Man or Peter Parker because of that Tony Stark kind of thing, that like maybe she'll that kind of part. Is that the right way?
No.
Okay. But I loved it. I loved it so much. It made me so happy, and I just can't wait for the rest of the like what's in the works Marvel wise to come out. And I'm very excited to see Ant-Man when it comes out, not in theaters. And I will be ignoring Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah.
I just have to say, I'm like low key surprised. Like, I'm not one to advocate for like, a man leads a fucking movie franchise and then you bring in a new female love interest everything. Like, I don't like that. Marvel does that like a lot, and like, okay, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to say that like the women characters they have written are so fantastic. I do think they do a really good job casting, because like Pepper Potts, like Gwyneth.
You put your necklace inside your headphones. I mean,
all of them?
Yeah. You can just unplug your headphones.
Them after. God damn it. I thought I was like going out of my way to not do that. Fucking hell. Anyways.
Pepper Potts is not a good character.
No, I was gonna say, but I think they do a good job casting. Like even Natalie Portman in Thor. Mm-hmm. The reason why people are bringing them back and they're so good is because like these actors are like making these characters that are kind of lackluster like great, because they have that charm.
She is like in the comic book. The thing is like sometimes in the MCU they veer too much away from the comic books.
Yeah,
and like how she is in the latest Thor is like how she more so is in the comic books, and I'm just like, can we just use what we have? Like, there's a lot of
good source material.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like very richness in the MCU with female characters that have already been written, and then they just try to veer away from it.
Yeah, and I just think that like, full offense to Evangeline Lilly, anti-vaxxer. She doesn't have that charm and that draw there. And the character is also lackluster, that like when it was like, oh yeah, well she's going to be in like, you know, the new one. I was like, why? Like she's like, it's just, she didn't do much in fucking Avenger. Like she doesn't do much in any of this kind of thing. So I'm not separating the art from the artist. For me is when I'm like, she's just kind of there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm still excited to see it, but I do want to watch Black Panther again, and now I want to watch Wakanda Forever again.
It's a whole day event.
Literally. But then we get so much Michael B. Jordan. Oh my God.
Creed?
Oh. Yeah, Cammie saw it. She posted on Twitter.
I was going to see it this weekend, but I just had too much to do. But
they're trying to send us into cardiac arrest. I'm like, first of all, these two men together,
and then have you seen their interviews? There's just something so just kind and beautiful seeing them interact together.
It is like, I've never in my life seen a movie like press tour with two men that it's wholesome and it's not like forced in those wider autocomplete interviews where it's like, haha, look at us like making like it's just pure of heart. Yeah. Like I love it.
And same with him and Ant-Man too. Like him and Paul Rudd.
Yeah. Did you see the video of him on was it the Tamron Hall show? Where Jonathan Majors, where his theater teacher.
I didn't watch it because I did not feel like being in my feels, but
I watched it during my crying weekend.
Yeah, and I saw it and I was like, I'll come to this later. I bookmarked it and I was like, I'll just come to it later.
Oh my God, I sobbed, and he has such theater kid energy to me, and I'm just like, this is just adorable. But at the end of the little video of them talking, he literally goes like, "You good? Like, how is like family good? Like everyone good?" She's like, "We're good." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna call you." And she was like, "Okay, like love you." And he was like, "I love you so much." And I was like, "I'm gonna die." I just loved it. Just it says what a time for hot men in movies.
Him and Paul Rudd had one, which is funny. Because it's so funny because it was the, I don't know what the is it Vanity Fair where they do the fill in the Google thing?
No, Wired Auto.
Yeah. And so one of them was like, is Paul Rudd in a frat? And so what's his name? Jonathan Majors is like, so did you step? And Paul Rudd was like, what do you mean step? And he's like, did you step? And he was like, I mean, I was only in the fraternity for like, I dropped out of school. He was like, oh, so you weren't a stepper. And I was like, Jonathan Majors.
You gotta explain.
He's in a white fraternity.
He's in like Phi Beta Kappa. Like, I mean, that's not real. Sigma Nu from No, Delta Nu. That was the
Sigma.
No, I know. That's Legally Blonde.
Okay, but yeah, we had Sigma News in my school.
Yeah, Matza too.
Wasn't he a Sigma Nu?
Was he?
Yeah, Matza's a Sigma Nu.
There you go. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
that's funny. God, I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it. I need to watch all of those. I hadn't watched them, and I didn't realize that they did press together.
Mm-hmm.
Did she do presses? There you go. That's why. Mm-hmm. I had just been assuming that they were the duo.
It's just been popping. All my feeds have been the interviews with Jonathan Majors and Paul Rudd, and then Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, mine has just been Jonathan Majors. Like that's literally it. And that one, oh my God, the one of the girl who used to like make fun of him and call him corny growing up. And his face, I'm just like, oh, how, for her, I can't imagine being so wrong and then so bold to just be like, haha, these dynamics are the same. And I go, we are not the same. You are behind the carpet. He is on the carpet.
Yeah.
The power is, you don't have that like upper hand bully power anymore, and you still think you do. And that's like so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
It was bad. Anyways.
Well,
that was it.
That's it.
We hope you enjoyed
this Marvel recap.
Marvel recap and us thirsting after
beautiful men.
Beautiful men. These are the only men you'll catch me simping for. And they're still men at the end of the day, so they can fuck up.
Yeah. Well, we know our Michael B. Jordan simping went away for about
he became a human.
Yeah.
Because he got a girlfriend, and we saw what he was like when he had a girlfriend, and he's earnest. Mm-hmm. He's earnest. And that's good for him. Yeah. But he became human to me in that moment.
All right. Well,
that's it.
See y'all next Tuesday.
Goodbye.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.